Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be making some cute and kawaii banner patterns. This is kind of a step-by-step video. These all work in survival and they're all easy and non-modded, so anybody would be able to use them in their world. Now, I don't take credit for these original designs, however, it's been really difficult for me to find original credit, but if you know any of the creators of these, please do let me know and I'll be sure to link them. Let's get straight into it and make our first banner pattern design. First of all, we're going to be starting by making this banner right here, which is a cute little winged heart with a kind of sky background. What you're going to need for this banner is a light blue banner, a flower charge pattern, 3 light blue dye, 2 white dye and a pink dye. So we start off by popping our light blue banner into the loom with a white dye in here and flower charge in here. And it should look like this. Then straight back into the loom, take the flower charge out, add one of your light blue dyes, and down the bottom here we are looking for not that one, this one. Pop the banner back into here, another light blue dye, and we're looking for the kind of cross pattern like this, and that makes the wings of the heart. Back into the loom, and now we want to make the heart itself, so we need pink dye and we're looking for this circle like this. Put the banner back in again, and this time we want light blue dye and we're looking for the top down triangle. Last one, white dye in here, and we want the gradient like this. And we've made the heart banner. Very cute, very simple. Our next banner is something that's very fitting considering the new update is about to come out, and that is a cute little axolotl banner. For this banner we're going to need a cyan banner, the flower charge banner pattern, 3 pink dye, 1 black dye, 1 cyan dye and 1 lime dye. We begin by putting our cyan banner in the loom along with the black dye, and we want this circle shape. Then we pop the banner back in with one of our pink dye and our banner pattern to make it look like this. Then pink dye again. Oh, and take the flower charge banner pattern out this time, and we're after this top down triangle shape. Next we want our final pink dye and we're after this cross shape. Then we want our cyan dye and we are after this shape right near the top. Then lastly we want our lime dye for a kind of grassy seaweed look at the bottom of the banner, and like this. And then we have a cute little axolotl. I think of it as under the water with some seaweed down there. I love it. Next up we have something a little bit different, which is this banner, and it's made specifically to look like a mirror inside your Minecraft house. For this you'll need a white banner, cyan dye, a white dye, a light blue dye, and either a pink dye or any other colour that you'd like to use for the border of the mirror. This one's particularly simple. Pop your white banner in here along with your cyan dye, and you just need one of these 2 diagonal lines here, it doesn't really matter which one. Pop your banner back in again with your white dye, and you need to go right down to the bottom and use this gradient. Banner back in, and you need your light blue dye, and then we want the top down gradient, and then finally pop your banner back in with whatever colour you're choosing to use for your mirror border, and you want this one. Easy as. I used this one heaps when I first started playing Minecraft, and then I kind of forgot about it for a while. Our next banner is another one that might be fun with the Caves and Cliffs update coming out soon, especially if you're planning to build in the mountains. Here we have a mountain with a cute pink sunrise or sunset. And as with all of them, you can change the colours to suit how you want. For this one you'll need a light blue banner, the flower charge banner pattern, 2 pink dye, a white dye and a grey dye. As always, start by popping the banner into the loom, and then we want to put the flower charge pattern in with a pink dye, like so. Then take the flower charge pattern out, put your second pink dye in, and we want to go right down to the bottom and do this bottom up gradient with the pink. Next we need our white dye to create the mountain, which will be this bottom up triangle. And finally the grey for the base of the mountain with this zigzag pattern. Ta-da! So cute! Next up for our 5th banner, let's make Pikachu! Isn't it cute? Who doesn't love Pikachu? For this one, we need a pink banner or whatever colour you want the background to be, a flower charged banner pattern, a red dye, a black dye, 2 yellow dye, and in my case 2 pink dye, but you need these dye to be whatever colour your banner is going to be to match the background. So we pop our banner into here along with our red dye, and we want this strip going through of red, which will be his cute little red cheeks. Next up we take our black dye and we want the circle through the middle of the banner, so it should look like this. Then we want to get our flower charged banner pattern along with one of our yellow dyes, like so. Then take the flower charge out and we want to use our next yellow dye to make this, where is it, this cross. Now it's starting to look a bit more like Pikachu. And last 2 steps, we want to take our first pink dye and right up the top of the selections here, we want this block of pink down the bottom. And lastly, take our final pink dye, scroll down to the bottom and make a pink border, like so. Look at him, I love it, it's so cute. For our next banner, we're going to make this little heart and a cute little text chat box. We will need a white banner, 3 red dye, 2 white dye and a pink dye. Let's go. Pop our white banner in here, and our first step is to grab a red dye, and right up the top we want this block of red at the bottom of the banner. Next up we want our white dye, and we're looking for the giant diamond-y shape right here, so it should look like this. Then we want to make the heart, so we pop our pink dye in and make a circle, and then pop our white dye in, and to complete the heart we want to make this top down triangle situation, so your banner should look like this. Finally we need to block off sections of the text box by using our red dye, and right up the top of the banner patterns we want this block of red, and then finally we want to use our last red dye to make a border around the whole thing, like so. And here we have it. For our 7th banner we're going to be making this cute sunflower, and for this one we'll need a light blue banner, the flower charged banner pattern, 2 lime dye, 2 light blue dye, a yellow dye and a brown dye. Let's begin by putting the banner in here, and we start by making the stem, so we'll need our lime green dye, and we want this zigzaggy pattern like so, and then the second lime dye to make the stem, and we want to go all the way down to the bottom here, maybe not down the bottom, oh it's up the top, this one, to make the stem going right through the middle. And then we want to make the stem a little bit thinner, so we pop some blue dye in and then go down to the bottom and use this, so you should have a nice thin looking stem. And then finally we don't want the stem to go all the way to the top of the banner, so we want a light blue gradient going down from the top like this. Then we can pop the flower charged pattern in with the yellow dye to make our sunflower, and then take the flower charged pattern out and use the brown dye with a circle to complete it. Isn't that adorable? For banner number 8, let's have a go at making this cute little bunny. For a bunny rabbit banner, we'll need a white banner, a flower charged pattern, black dye, 3 white dye and 2 pink dye. We start by making a black circle in the middle of our white banner. Then we take our banner and use the flower charged pattern with a white dye, like so. Then take the banner pattern out again. Grab one of your pink dye, and you want this top-down triangle situation. Next, get your white dye again, and we're looking for this cross pattern. Now it's starting to look like an actual bunny face. Then we want our pink dye again, and right down at the bottom we want to use this pattern. Finally, we just need to make the bunny's little feet with our last white dye. And we want to use this pattern which we used earlier for the mountain and the seaweed. And here we have a little bunny. Anyway, on to banner 9. Now I want to try making this ice cream banner. I think this banner is really cute if you're into creative building. It could look so cute doing a few of them with different background colours out the front of like an ice cream shop. For this one you'll need a lime banner, a black dye, an orange dye, 2 white dye and 2 lime dye. Let's begin. We start by putting our black dye in, and we want the big diamond shape. I'm not using any of the technical names for these. I think it's just because I don't know them, and so I assume that other people don't know them either and would appreciate it if I just describe what they are, but you know, that's probably not true at all. If we pop our orange dye in next and make the exact same shape, the effect of the black dye underneath is just that we have a nice outline for our cone here. Next we need to start creating the actual ice cream on the cone using our white dye. If we go up to the top, we can use this vertical line that goes across. Then we need to grab one of our lime dyes, scroll down to the bottom and create a block of lime colour going across the top half of the banner. And we get our last white dye and we want to make a circle shape. And then finally with our lime dye, if we make a border, that'll cover up the weird white bits on the edges. And we have an ice cream! For our last banner, but definitely not least, we have this kawaii face. I've definitely saved the hardest till last. This banner's a little more difficult to create in survival because you need the skull charge and creeper charge patterns. Let's go over to our loom. So we need our black banner, 4 black dyes, a white dye, a pink dye, our skull charge pattern and our creeper charge pattern. So if we pop the black banner in, our first step is to grab our white dye and our creeper charge pattern and make a creeper face. Then if we take our creeper charge out, we want to use one of our black dye and make this stripy pattern. Then we want to take our pink dye to make the cute pink mouth and cheeks and do this horizontal line going straight across. Next up we need another black dye, and this time our skull charge pattern. And it should be looking kind of crazy like this. Then we take our black dye, need to remove that pattern, and we want to go right down to the bottom and block off the bottom half with black. And then our final step is just to use our last black dye to make a black border around the whole thing. And there we go. A little kawaii face. And there we have all 10 cute kawaii banner patterns. So yeah, let me know if this was helpful or if you liked it or used any of the designs here. I appreciate every like or comment. Thank you all so much again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!